Hey Mech here. So after my last video of a walkthrough with a map for Oakside Park and Slender the Arrival, I got some good feedback and some people were asking me to do another walkthrough and some tips and a map for level 3, the Kullman Mining Facility, or Into the Abyss as the game calls it. So I spent some time in there running around, dying more times than I can count to get a good idea and make up a map for you. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the level, show you a map, and then show you a complete playthrough with the mini-map I made to give you an idea of where everything is to help you get through the level. First and foremost, like I said with my last video, if you haven't given this map an honest playthrough on your own first, I recommend doing that. You really don't want to go through a map that's put together this well, knowing where everything is ahead of time. It really takes away from the game, so if you haven't done that, please go play the game first. But that said, this is the map I came up with for you. And a lot of similarities are between this one and Oakside Park. That is, you do have an objective to activate 6 generators, as you did with collecting 8 pages in Oakside Park. The good news is the first generator is always in the exact same spot, and that's right when you start the game, and using that generator opens the doors to all the rest of the map. The downside, though, is unlike Oakside Park, where there are 9 places where the 8 pages could be, the first floor alone has 16 places where any of the 5 generators could be, and that's not counting the 3 places on the second floor where the generators could also be. So there's a lot more complexity here. This place is more like a maze than Oakside Park was. You remember that was just a great big circle, whereas this one has a lot of twists, turns, hallways, and little rooms where you can get cornered in. Another change that the Kullman Mining Facility has over Oakside is you actually have 2 enemies you're on the lookout for this time. Slender Man is there, of course, but more importantly is his proxy. And there's rumors in the game that this is actually Kate, but I haven't found anything in the game to confirm that, although some people say they have. If you ask me, you're supposed to be some girl named Lauren, which is Kate's friend, and you're obviously old enough to drive a car, and Kate is old enough to own a house and 20 acres of land and be selling it, but the girl running around chasing you here looks like she's no more than 10, so we'll just call it Slender's proxy. Now, one of the key things I want to point out before we start playing is the proxy is actually already in the map when it starts, but she doesn't become active until you start that first generator, it seems like. But she is hiding in a room. I have had some playthroughs where as soon as I started and I activated the first generator, I turned a corner into a room and she was there waiting on me. So that does lead me to believe she is somewhere in the map, but she becomes more aggressive the more generators you start activating. There are theories floating around that the more you activate, the more light is put out into the facility and the more sound it makes, and she's actually attracted to that. So, food for thought. Slender, on the other hand, is not as much of a threat in this map as he was in the one right before it. He is here, he can teleport directly in front of you and end your game, but he is not your main threat. The main threat is the proxy. But Slender Man will start becoming more aggressive with you the more generators you pick up, and it makes it harder to run around and change directions, which is a big problem with this map because there's a lot of twists and turns. And one thing I do want to point out more than anything is that when Slender Man sees you and teleports there, it's like his proxy knows where you are and she teleports close by and comes running after you. So when you see him, get ready to see her, and I'm going to show you a trick if you don't know already on how to defeat her and get away from her. So all that being said, I'm going to go ahead and show you a walkthrough with this map and give you some tips as we go along. Here we go. So the first generator is right here in front of you, and I'd like to give you some tips as we go through here. You'll see on the map all the generator locations, and when I see where there is not a generator where one could be, they will turn red. So if you see me turning around, just look at the map, and if you see an icon turn red, that's why I turned around. Now, I recommend not running as soon as the game starts, because you do have much more limited stamina as you did in Oakside Park, and as you collect or activate more generators, it is going to become a lot more difficult because Slender Man is going to be chasing you very aggressively, and his proxy is going to be running around too. Now, I like to start in the bottom left and work my way up in a clockwise circle. It's really hard to give you an overall good strategy for this map because stuff can change on just a drop of a pen. Everything can change with Slender Man popping up in the proxy. I do like to get this room out of the way as quickly as I can because there's a lot of twists and turns, there's a lot of obstacles, and you don't want to get caught in here later in the map with both of them chasing you. Now, one thing you can pay attention to that will help you know when the proxy is coming, right here when I activate generator 3, the music changes, so she's nearby. And she comes charging at me here. If you focus your flashlight on her with your second mouse button and shine it directly at her, it actually freezes her in place and gives you a speed boost. You see I'm running really fast there. I ran up to the second floor here just to try to get some space. There's a little trick up here that makes things easier, so I might as well check for the generators while I'm up here. But definitely pay attention to the music. You can tell when she's close, and you can tell when she knows where you are. The music changes again to kind of a screechy tone. Here she is going to start running up the stairs after me. And one of the plus sides here, I want to get down to the first floor again because I'm not done checking it out. I don't really like the second floor, even though it is a easy way just to run, because it's a long straight path for the most part. But I shine my flashlight on her and then jumped off the side there back down to the first floor with my speed boost. So she has to take the long way, and this definitely puts a lot of space between us. Now, generators 4 and 5, I was lucky here. They were right next to each other. But once you get the 5th generator activated, Slender Man is much more active. He's right behind me now, and I meant to turn left right there to try to complete the loop, but I got kind of turned around with him behind me, so I'm just kind of improvising as we go here. But as you can see, every time I turn around, he is just a few steps behind me. And this is when I've been saving my sprint. I definitely want to run here. I don't want him catching up. I know the proxy's behind me, and hello, right there. That could have ended the game very easily if I hadn't had quick reaction time. But now that I have the 6 generators, the last objective is to get back to the exit lift, so that's where I'm trying to crawl to now. And the proxy shows back up. I think I can blind her and run around to the side, but she actually has a really big range where she can leap on you and start, chewing your face out or whatever it is she does. And when she does that, you actually don't automatically die. I honestly think it's based on how many times she's caught you or how exhausted you are. You see I'm moving very slow here. My legs are, like, not working right, but you can get away. I've gotten away 3 times, I think, in the same map before she's killed me. But once you get the 6 generators, make your way back to the lift as quickly as possible. Save your sprint as much as you possibly can. And definitely use it once you've gotten about the 5th generator and you know that both enemies are close by and you just need to haul ass to get to your last generator, or even better if you can save it until you get to the elevator and only sprint when you need to. The best time to do it is right when you blinded the proxy and you get that speed boost. Put as much distance between them as you can. But that pretty much wraps it up. If you check the video description, I have links to both the upstairs and the downstairs map. I did a quick Google search right before I recorded this and found out that there is a map online. It's pretty much the exact same one as I came up with here. So use mine, use theirs, whatever you'd like, but mine is available to you in the description. If you have any questions, leave a comment. I'll try to get back to you as best I can, and hope you enjoyed it.